Hi gentle people, good afternoon. Here it is, the long-awaited P40 Warhawk released in 2025 by Edwards. It's the Royal class dual combo that provides you not with one, but with two aircraft in a single box. Let's check all this in detail and try to respond together to these two questions. First one, is this kit for you? Second question, is that the awakening of a new era of scale models? Well, normally if you look at this complete video, you will be able to answer these two questions by yourself. Let's open this box and discover what's inside. Okay, a lot of stuff, of course. I will detail the instruction manual at the end of this sprue review. And I will also show you the beautiful Brezin engine kit and the cockpit parts that I bought separately. It's a complement for this project. So as I said, we have 2 times 5 plastic sprues to build these two planes. We can immediately see the highly detailed surfaces and subtle engraving and the smoothness of this production. It has nothing to do with the older kits for sure. We have nice anchor points on both sides. They are small, but anyway, they look like quite precise. As you can see, we have some little plastic residues on the propeller, but of course really not significant. That's not an issue. And more that you have choice between 2 types of propellers. The rifting is really tiny and subtle. Perhaps too tiny. We'll see in the future with the build procedure and the painting procedure. But to me it looks beautiful, just like the different panel lines. The second sprue with a beautifully detailed auxiliary fuel tank, if I'm not mistaken. And as you can see on the nose propeller cone, also nice rivet lines. As you can see, the details include external rivet lines, cables and connections. It will be really important to take care during the different sanding phase if they are required, of course, not to delete these rivets. As I told you, some resin seats are also provided. Let's compare the plastic ones with the resin pieces. The resin pieces include 2 different seat types, so 1 different seat for each aircraft. The main difference is that the resin seats are molded together with their safety belts, which could be a little bit frustrating for those who like to use the foot wedge parts to give a more alive, realistic appearance to these belts. Personally, I think the plastic parts are really nice and fitted with foot wedge parts. They could be nicer than the resin pieces. What do you think? The resin parts included in the box also offer 2 different exhaust stacks, 1 different for each aircraft again, and the resin wheel hubs. The third sprue includes the cockpit interior section. Again, you can quickly see that the level of details is outstanding. You've got cables, electrical connections, boxes. Nothing seems to be missing. The next sprue contains the bombs and the plastic exhaust stacks that are not to be used, as you've got the resin assembly. Look at the wheel wells pieces. Again, a lot of detail and nice rifting external rivets here. And the last sprue provides the main wings and control surfaces. Look again at the rivets and the engraved panel lines. You've got also details at the wheel struts connection area. Really an excellent work. You also have an external hinge on top of the wings for the gun bay access. It's in relief. It could be interesting to open these doors for your diorama. Of course, until now it's not foreseen, but it could be a nice project for the future. On top of all that, you've got also 2 transparent pieces sprues, 1 for each aircraft. Each sprue includes 2 types of canopies and some spare lights, so that's nice. The canopy can be opened or closed. As I said, you are provided with resin wheels. You've got two sets, one set per aircraft with different tread. The tail wheel is also doubled, so you have two different types. Eduard also thought about facilitating your work and offered to you the wheel wells foam plugs to mask them during painting. They also provide you with the wheels masks and the canopy masks for both aircraft. That's really nice. Finally, also included in the box, you have two sets of foot wedge parts, one set for each aircraft. The colored pieces for the cockpit panels and seat belts, and some other stuffs for interior and exterior detailing. As I said, if you use the Brassin resin seat, the nice seat belts in foot wedge will be useless. It's a bit sad, so it's a matter of choice, of course. Now, a quick glance at the decals. You've got 3 sheets per aircraft, so a very small ones with the different servicing instructions. You have 2 big ones, one with the different national markings, and a beautiful third one with the different nose arts. Now you have to know that if you plan to do both aircraft, you don't have the possibility to do 2 aircraft from the same unit, as these 12 decals sets are showing 12 different units. But what's intelligent from Eduard is that they give you the possibility to make 2 aircraft, 2 different aircraft from the same theater at the same period of World War II, which to my opinion is really nice, as it's more than probable that these aircraft met on the same airfield one day, with the exception of the Russian livery, but to my opinion you can easily replicate the national Red Star markings just by painting them on the second aircraft. So to my opinion there is no difficulties to create a diorama with 2 aircraft. To make a small comparison, I also bought the cockpit set in resin, so you can see here the difference with the one provided in the original box. The foot wedge parts are exactly the same than the one in the box. To my point of view, the difference between both cockpit is tiny. The resin part has a little bit more 3D relief. The dials are also a little bit more contrasty. The white is more flashy on the resin part, and the glass of the dial is already glossy on the resin part. So it looks a little bit more realistic, let's say, on the resin part. Okay, before jumping on the instruction manual, a last word about the Brassin 3D printed engine section. Just a word. Wow. That's a kit in the kit. For the detailing fanatics, that's a masterpiece that you can't miss. Really, it comes with all these 3D printed resin parts. It's really outstanding. If you jump in the project, you will have to cut and open the nose of the kit. The instruction manual is really impressive. You have quite a lot of pages for just a small engine. All you need to add are the hoses, the cables. The manual tells you clearly where and what size should be these tubes. The Allison V1710 engine presented is absolutely gorgeous, and it will be a fantastic add-on for a nice diorama for sure. A close-up on all these pieces, you can see that all the engine panels are also provided. Look at this beautiful air intake. The cowling flaps are also super detailed with their mechanism. You've got hoses. The engine support arms are also very nice. The second little bag contains this stunning engine, gearboxes, 2 different exhaust stacks, the firewall and other items. Here is the reference of this Brassin 3D printed engine if you need it. Without any doubt, it's really a fantastic item. To finish this review, let's check quickly the instruction manual. So the first pages show what's included in the box and the pieces you need to use, the one that are useless. Of course, the Brassin engine we just described is not part of this box. It's an add-on that you will have to buy aside of it. The instruction manual is in black and white for all the drawings, with some colored remarks and some colored sketches. You will see that later. It looks clear to me. You will have to pay anyway attention for the different variants of the aircraft according to the livery you have selected, but also watch out, you will have to pay attention for the different options according to the aircraft configuration. It depends, for example, if the cowling flaps are open or closed, if the canopy is open or closed, the throttle position. So all these stuffs you need to pay attention, but I think it's clearly detailed in the instruction manual. The different colors to be used are also nicely explained. It's a textual explanation. It's not just a number. This color selection will depend upon the variant of your aircraft, the one you have selected. You also have a Brassin symbol when the resin parts are to be used. As I said, you have masks provided for the painting of the wheels and the canopy. It's really nice. And for this you have a colored page to explain quite clearly where you have to position and how you have to position these different masks. It's really an excellent work to avoid mismatching the mask's position. And again here, watch out with your aircraft variant. Finally, the different decals, liveries and the camo schemes. So as I already said, you have 12 different aircraft schemes available, all from different units, but some from the same theater at the same period of time, which is very nice. There is plenty of possibilities with regard with the color selection. It's really exciting. The last page is also used to explain the servicing decals position. We'll finish this review by trying to answer our two initial questions while looking at this beautiful poster offered in the box with a small magnet. So the first question was, is this kit for you? Well, only you can answer this question, and it will be a matter of skills. Up to you to judge if you are capable to handle this task. I hope this review was helpful to find the answer to this question. Well, the second question is that the awakening of a new era of scales models. Well, if you look at this video, you probably know the answer. For me, yes, definitely. This new generation of scale models has nothing to do with the kit provided 20 years ago. You have 3D print, the packaging, the instruction display. We clearly jumped in a much more aesthetic and super detailed production level, which for me opens super exciting perspectives. Well, I hope you like this review. Let me know your feeling and feel free if you have any question. Greeting from Portugal. Ciao, ciao.